Successful Indie Author 5-Minute Focus, episode 122. Squeeze me. Newsletters. And just for reference, there are 25 prime numbers between 1 and 100. And 21 between 100 and 200. Next one up is 127. Excuse me. Swallowed wrong. Newsletters. What are we looking at here? When you start a newsletter, I send a newsletter every week, yet I have new subscribers every week because I have newsletter ads and promotions and builders going constantly. So treat every newsletter like a first date. So you have to be impressive, of course, but you also have to listen. You have to take input as well as give some. It's an exchange of information. It's a presentation, and you need to be on your A game. So start with that catchy subject line. Always have the catchy subject line. You can't rest on your laurels and say, hey, it's me again, because some people will be new. And everyone, you need to have that same impressivity, whatever you need to do to get where you need to go with your fans and keep them as fans. You don't want to have a high unsubscribe rate because you're so uninteresting and you take anything for granted. You can't ever take anything for granted. Back to the first date analogy, right? Letter to a friend. This is the format and the style that most people respond to in emails. So it's like an email to a friend. That's the best way to look at how to write, how to craft your narrative within. Sure, I include pictures and stuff like that, but I send pictures of my friends too. So it's similar. I start with a little bit of stuff interesting. I'm usually the only person people know from Alaska, or people who lived here said, oh man, I miss it. Okay, here's some more Alaska stuff. Check all your links. This is important because this is the reason you're sending a newsletter, to send people to those links. Hopefully they click through, right? You have your open rate and then you have your click rate. You check both those numbers. So to get the click rate, links need to work. And keep those number of links to a minimum. It's important because some spam filters will cull out emails if they have too many links, or if the links are dodgy. You don't want that. Have nice, clean links that send people to your direct landing page where they can buy your book. The minimal number of links and click-throughs. Don't send them to your website, which then sends them to a sub page that sends them to yet another page before you can finally click buy this book, that then sends them to Amazon or Kobo or Apple. Too many clicks, you start losing people and you lose sales. So give them a place to go at the end. Like you've gone through it, you've promoted your book, you said it's upcoming, or even if you don't have a book, hey, here's some interesting stuff. Here's a snippet. Enjoy. Here's what I expect from the cover. It's coming soon. And oh, by the way, if you want to learn more, follow me on Amazon or go to my webpage. Always have that landing page or a boudoir page or whatever you need to do to keep your fans on board. And keep your list tidy. I was up to about 13,000 on my list, but I had a bunch of people that weren't opening according to the newsletter service. So I pulled them out. I kept them aside as a separate one that I will send them an email saying, hey, if you'd like to get back on my list, here you can resubscribe here. And then we'll move those people who are active that the newsletter says that they're not, move them back into the list and keep it down. So I'm down to 8,000 now, called up 5,000 people. And that goes back to that first date. Do you really want numbers in your phone of people who stood you up? They won't call back. You never call me back. I texted you. You didn't text back. You're out of here, buddy. So nothing personal, but just got to keep it clean because you need to maintain that high open rate, that high click rate. Keep it interesting. Letter to a friend, first date, where you're trying to be interesting, but you also need to listen and ask good questions. So all good stuff that keep you engaged and will hopefully get you a second date, which is what every newsletter is. You don't get that second date of a newsletter because you're supposed to treat everyone like a first date, right? So don't grow complacent. All right, everybody. That's it. Pretty simple today, but just a different mindset, hopefully a good mindset for doing your newsletters, and keep them active, keep them going. And whatever your consistency is, once a month, once a quarter, I send one a week. So the consistency, just hit it at the same time so people know when to expect it. And that when I change the day on mine because of whatever issue, it really decreases my open rate because people expect to see it on Monday morning. All right, just added tip. All right, everybody,